when you're ready.
Just keep looking at the camera.
Fellow Guyanese, a pleasant good evening to each and every one of you in and out of Guyana and elsewhere. First, I want to bring you back the little history of the past, when we will say, dear land of Guyana. That was one of the biggest mistakes in our history. We should have been born in the land of the mountain Roraima. But when we choose disease to rule a nation, then the nation shall live in disease until they die. They're dead. We must say one thing: Burnham was a disease to the black people, and Chetty Jagan as Judas Iscariot, another disease to the Indian race. And yes, I urge you, the black race of Guyana, to stop talking about emancipation and accept your birthrights. You were born in Guyana. Your ancestor was taken away from the shore of Africa. And we must remember it, but that doesn't mean we must galvanize in it and make it a historical event, like if we are the one that suffer. For the sufferment of the black man and woman of Africa, what have we done to them today? Kofi was a revolutionist. He fought for liberation. The Demerara uprising, many blacks was murdered. And yes, one of my person who watching my video made a statement that black people was in Guyana before the East Indian. I am not going to deny that. He's right. There were blacks in Guyana before the East Indian because they brought them, but it was Portuguese before the blacks. But they couldn't have done the laboring work, and there was a lot of rebellions that you don't know about. So they brought the blacks that they bought from the shore of Africa to occupy lands that they occupy after killing and conquering. And yes, many of you stated that you say the black man run in the bush. Where did the black man came from in tribal affair? Tell me. The Indian came with coat and pajama. Where did the black race came from? Not the jungle. So stop talking about the bush, because the world was made of water, bushes, and many rocks and sands. And then when you want to be humiliated and insulted towards a nation, that you are living in their country and claiming Mother Africa, I urge you to stop it. Because if you are emancipated, one day you will have to leave. So accept your birthrights. And you, the East Indian, another fool in the equation. You claim day of arrival. Which one of you in Guyana arrived from India today? Show me. Show me. Which one of you arrived from India? It was your ancestor. We must remember, but they were cheap laborers. Like many of us are leaving Guyana, going to work in other people's country. We are laborers too. And therefore, you cannot call the Indian indentured slavery. You have to call there was an economical slavery, because they were going there to make money to mind their family. And by the way, they were rent out by the Maharajas in India. So all those two major races that is claiming emancipation and day of arrival, stop it. But for you, the black educated people, I have nothing against you because you know the truth. And you, the educated Indian. But join hands with us and bring about a national front government. Since knowing you have a day of arrival as an Indian, and my black brothers and sisters have a day of emancipation, I think the visa run out for the arrival, and the emancipation freedom means it's time to go home. Be careful what you say in this English language. It could use against you. Brothers and sisters, I was very upset with Uganda leader, the late Idi Amin, when he put out of his country, Uganda, 900 and some thousands of East Indian descendants. who were born in Uganda during the British time. And they were the one that was building the road, the trail line, and many other infrastructure. Go to Africa and see. Lions was eating them from the camp. So they were the one who born, the children who born in Uganda, like you who born in Guyana. And India is so close to Uganda, they couldn't go home. But they say Uganda is where they're born and that is their country. But Idi Amin warned you, the Indians, stop fighting for land as a black Muslim. Stop fighting your brothers. Stop going to the voodoo man. Because he was against the voodoo man. And he was against people fighting for land. It is history. I was mad with the man. But when I lay my foot down upon the soil and find out the truth, and I congratulate the American actor, Denzel Washington, to bring a movie, The Mississippi Massacre, that outlined the truth, where an Indian lawyer says, I am not a Ugandan, I am not an Indian. I knows nothing of India. I was born in Uganda, still have the accent of an Indian, but born in Uganda, and the man is born right. And he is closer to India than you. 15 hours by a plane, 9 months by a boat, traveling with a sail, when he could have make it in 5 days across the Indian Ocean. Think of it. So stop believing in nonsense. Where you were born is what belongs to you. Claim it. If not, the Amerindian will have to ask you to leave, and they will get the international support. Remember, you may kill a few, you may jail a few, but when you start it, don't make them start it because there will be nobody left. I beg of you, always want to remember this thing. America gets what America wants. The Shah was a servant of the United States. He died with cancer. Saddam Hussein was another servant of the United States, and he died hanging. Gaddafi exposed a lot of things and tried to unite Africa and got their own money, and he died in a gutter. Noriega of Panama, he died in jail. They jailed him in America and they sent him to France. Think. And many other leaders in the Caribbean, Central and South America, because America have a right to protect human rights and democracy in this bloody hemisphere. You East Indian, uneducated to understand what is communism. You couldn't live with it. Now you, the black man from slavery as you're talking, you couldn't live with communism rules because you would have 2-child mother and 5-child father. You would have a big house. You will be driving a fancy car. Think of it. I urge you, the citizen of Guyana, to unite and remember the 50s and 40s when a black man and an Indian man and woman could say uncle and auntie, brothers and sisters, eat and drink together. Today, I am happy to know that 22% of the black race are mixed with East Indian blood. And the Indian are also mixing because Indian have a domination of if you're a Muslim, you can't marry a Hindu and you can't marry a Christian, vice versa. This nonsense must stop, and I congratulate those who have stand up against it. Because man make religion, God make man. And I will say this, if you're a Muslim woman and you're a Hindu man and your family don't want you to marry, let them put you in a room for a month and have sex. And if you cannot breed, then I myself will say you shouldn't marry. And if you marry a black man and you cannot breed, I will say the same. But if you breed, then I will warn the person who opposes God's word, stop it or get out of the world. For what the Lord make, no man must change. Think of it. Today I urge you, the young Guyanese, I salute you for crossing the racial barrier by intermarriage. I salute you for standing up against the nonsense, against the stupid parents in the past because of culture. And if you think that that was bad in India, the caste system was worse, then you don't like a black man and a black man don't like you. And if you, the black race, believe that racism against an Indian, Chinese, European was bad, go back to Mother Africa and find out about the tribal affair that caused you to end up in the Caribbean, Brazil, and elsewhere from the first place. Please open up your eyes to the truth. There is cell phone, you can see it now in seconds. And take this from me. All men will die one day. Dr. Jagan is not the fathers of Guyana. The fathers of Guyana is an Amerindian. Dr. Jagan is the traitor of the country, of his nation. And Burnham also. So I urge you, the real son of Guyana was murdered by Burnham and Jagan, the late Walter Rodney. The man who wrote a great book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Now, define the education to the illiterate. White man in slavery. White man take with gold. But an educated black brother, the historian Rodney, wrote his book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. You see the difference? It's quite a big difference. But if he were living today, I would have asked him to write another book. How European educate African descendant soccer player making billions, basketball player making billions, pilot, doctor, scientist, great musician, guitar player, saxophone player, and some of the greatest actors and actresses and philosophers. While they were in tribal jungle, running from each other, being raped and butchered. Think of it. Like you, the East Indian in India. Slavery because of your color. So I urge both of you to come out of that bloody nonsense. And the modern African have nothing to do with it. Because they are more educated and they are fighting the same bloody aggression today that your ancestors ran away 200 years ago, whether they were sold or captured. And in India, you Indians are going through the same thing. No mama, no papa. Beggars and hoes and thieves along the street. And I will tell you the story as I'm telling you here. I heard they say in Guyana, a black man is a bad thief, he's a wicked thief. No, it's an Indian. The story of India. Europe, England that rule India, rule Guyana. As it was told to me, I will tell it to you. A white man was jailed in England, London, as the England's greatest thief. So Queen Victoria gave him a chance. Because India was boasting that they have the greatest thief around the world. I don't know what is their thief, to be honest. But since she named a thief Sir Walter Raleigh and make him Sir, thief is admitted in any part of the English hemisphere. So she take out the thief from the jail in Britain, send him to India. They give you a lot of counterfeit British money. When he arrived, the embassy picked him up. They give you the money. He went all over India with a suitcase of counterfeit money. He spent over 1 year. Nobody touched the money. On the day leaving for the ship to go back to England, 3 beggars were sitting begging. So he take out some money, and when he gave to them, one of them said to him, I hope it's not the money what you have in the suitcase. He said, what do you mean? The man said, because they're all counterfeit. So who got the best thief? India. My friends, it may sound that I'm insulting you. You'll lie. You'll cry too fast. You'll make stories. Y'all bring down heaven when you all commit a crime, when you blame innocent people as Indians. I have you in my family and I got you in my blood. My sister, Indra Govind, from my hiker opposite the station in the street, a pack of thieves and whores. I am sorry for the father. Maybe he's dead and gone now. My Indian mother stated she had wanted an Indian daughter. I have nothing against them. Trust me. Y'all are good people in your own way. But you were culture wrong. Wake up for God's sake. Be united for a better future. And look up to the heavens for your God and pray and treat your neighbors the way you like to be treated. You, the black man, I don't have a problem with you because you will fight 1 minute and love the next minute. But you were misled. Let's unite and make Guyana a prosperous country. If Mr. Ali is doing good, so let it be. But remember, Burnham and Jagan is the disease of the country. And all the rest before Mr. Ali are soup drinkers. Even the Constitution is abused. But whatever crime was committed under Burnham and Jagan and the rest shall resurface. And that is what plenty of you would not like. For those who lose your loved one or imprisonment wrongfully, you will have an opportunity to deal with the judge and magistrate and prosecutor and the ministers and the corrupt businessmen who have their hands in it. What you do with them will be up to you. It will be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Think of it. If a bird could represent its little eggs and chicken, and a falcon to the same, a dog the puppy, why we humans must run away from our responsibility. If you kill for defense, it's a blessing. But if you kill robbing people, it's a curse. Do not lie on people. Do not rob people. Do not kill people. He who kills must be killed. He who imprison people because of their vice need to be in prison. So help me God. I call upon the Amerindian, the Portuguese, Chinese, decent blacks and Indians to unite for a national front government. I call on all civil servants, military, police, custom, teachers, union and everybody to stand together. All of you need your duty-free concession. All of you need money to build your house. And let's put Guyana forward. Together we can be one. God bless you. Have a good night.